What's up, y'all? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. You know, I've been on the road, actually, drove 3.5 hours to get up here to West Virginia, help my daughter. I've got 2 daughters out, and this is one of those reasons why I hate the DIY channel, because they always go through and they throw some shit up, and it looks real good when people get it, but the craftsmanship isn't always there. And man, am I dealing with some stuff in here. You know, they put a new fiberglass shower in, and you know, they put a nice little textured ceiling up downstairs. Problem is whoever did the work didn't put a trap in, and they put the washer on the top instead of the washer being on the bottom, and didn't tighten it up enough. So now it leaks around the base of it. So you take a shower, you got water going all over the place. And now it's up to me to have to try and cut open the ceiling so I can put it back together without it being jacked up. And it's a bear. It's a bear to say the least. So I'm on my way to Lowe's to pick up some materials for that. It's funny right now because, you know, we're the last few days of the off season for the Cowboys, and, you know, they're needing to make some other moves and stuff for the season. Or, excuse me, the pundits are saying that they need to make some moves for the ceiling. You know, they're analyzing everything out there and saying, you know, did the Cowboys do enough at quarterback, you know, because it's Garrett Gilbert, you know, is the backup quarterback. I'm going to ask you, if that goes down, who do you see as a good enough backup quarterback for the Cowboys to have that's going to take them to the playoffs? The reality is you had Andy Dalton, who was a guy who had been to the playoffs, I think 4 times, and lost all 4 games, had won a lot of games in his career, but we spent a good chunk of money on having him, and it didn't really matter. You can go back and say, you know, we had Brandon Wheaton, who was, you know, a high draft pick, veteran quarterback, and we had him as a backup when we had Tony Romo, and he didn't get much there. And so with him, they said, well, let's go out and get Matt Castle. You know, he's been in the playoffs. You know, he was a Pro Bowl player as a backup quarterback, and he was part of one victory. And I won't even credit him with that victory because Sean Jackson ran backwards on a punt at the 8-yard line and fumbled the football and allowed us to kick a field goal and win 19-16 or something like that. So the reality is if you can't take care of your quarterback, your starting quarterback, keep him upright, you're not going to play well in the playoffs. Now, don't get me wrong. That happened one time where, you know, Carson Wentz was ass, and Nick Foles came in and got hot and played well to win the Super Bowl. That's few and far between. That does not happen very often. And Nick Foles had some experience in things, but he had a tremendous team around him, and they had a great system for it. The other part of this is, as they go through and figure out how we should try and trade for, the New England cornerback or the Miami cornerback and things like that, or sign, you know, this guy or that guy. Guys, we only have $5 million in cap space. $5 million. There's not a whole lot of options out there that are going to make a difference. I dare say, because Garrett Gilbert, who is actually a veteran, he's actually been a journeyman, who got the opportunity to play 1 game for the Cowboys, played well enough that he at least deserves a shot at trying to keep the position. And I dare say you could go out and try and bring a veteran in right now. I will take a Garrett Gilbert who may not have the skill set or the pedigree of somebody who might be a bigger name, but having familiarity with the system, having been there last year and coming in cold and actually winning, you know, I think we won a game with them, didn't it? And having him having a full off season with the team, will bode more or better for us than somebody that's getting here cold. Right now, guys, this is the team. This is it. You're better off with guys that know the system. Talking to, God, this whole week is still a blur. Listening to Alan Faneca, guard who's going into Hall of Fame, Pittsburgh Steelers, Jets, and Cardinals. I haven't downloaded that video yet. I'm sorry. I'll actually upload them for you guys. But when you listen to these guys, they make things that are so pointed to winning. He talked about how they didn't like to make calls at the line because he said, as he put it, defensive linemen aren't that bright. But if you make calls throughout the game, by the end of the game, they will pick it up and understand what you're doing. And so they didn't like to make calls at the line. But as they got to know each other and the systems that they were running, they didn't need to, because you see the same thing I see and we know what we're doing. Familiarity helps in getting this stuff right. And the biggest problem for the Dallas Cowboys on that defense last year was people not knowing what they were supposed to do. You could put out there 3 or 4 Deion Sanders, but if they do not work as a cohesive unit, it doesn't matter. So it's great conversation. It's great to get excited about saying, if we get that guy and he plays like that here, we're going to the Super Bowl. But it's not going to happen. Cowboys, like Joe Blue Sports Report, are broke ass. They're broke ass right now. No money. And you're better off sticking with the guys that you know right now. Whew. I've got to, it's raining. This doesn't bode well for me. I'm still mystified at how much crap. This was where they put tits on a bull on this house. They've got Trex flooring, decking, looks great. But my daughter said the floor is dropping. I look up underneath of it, and telling you what I see is they kept the old deck that's there, that's on 4x4 post, and it's pulled away from the ledger board because there's not a single joist hanger there. And I'm looking at this and saying, the only way to fix this is start over. I'm going to try and do a temporary fix for now, make sure nobody gets hurt, and then I'm going to have to come back and rebuild this thing. But it's a travesty, some of the stuff I've seen. Hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you later.